Hey, you.
Yeah.
What's today's video gonna be about?
My mommy and daddy.
My mommy and my daddy.
Which I don't ever call them that. My mom and dad.
Harold and Hootie.
Yep. Harold Wayne and Judy.
What's your mom's middle name?
Ann. It's Judith
Harold
Ann.
Wayne and Judith Ann.
Yep.
I call her Hootie because in Spanish the J is a H sound. So for funsies, Harold and Hootie.
Yep.
Okay, I'll let you have your video now. Hi, I'm Jen, and this is my wife, Rachel. Together we live in North Carolina with our kids, Bennett and Ryden, and our dogs, Coco and Lucky. Join us as we share our life and our adventures. Please subscribe and enjoy the video. So yesterday, she filmed the entire thing for like 30 minutes. I forgot to hit record. Sorry. We started filming it again, but at that point we were just kind of over it.
And then the battery died.
Yeah. So, take 3, third time's a charm. And if you hear noises in the background, it's because I'm working out.
My parents are from 2 different, completely families. My dad is the oldest of 8, and my mom is the youngest of 2. So households were very different. I have some funny stories on that too. But my mom and dad met in Trenton, Texas, I think. Yeah, but my dad had noticed my mom at the skating rink, and my mom did not notice. Yeah, my mom did not notice my dad and for a while.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and so they started dating not too long after that. A fun fact is my mom had never had a taco before, so my dad took her for...
What?
Yeah, took her for her first taco ever. So they started dating. I don't think they dated for maybe for a year. So my mom must have been 16 or so. Dad was 19. I think he asked her to marry him once. My mom had said no because she wanted to graduate high school, and I think that was the reason.
Smart woman.
Yeah. But then he asked her some more. I'm not sure how many more times, but she finally said yes, and they got married after she graduated high school in June of 1971, and she was 17. So they had to get my grandparents' permission for the marriage license for them to get married.
You and her dad are alike in that you like to rob the cradle.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, so they got married in 1971. And my brother was born in 1972. So almost a honeymoon baby, but not quite. And then 5 years later came me. And Jen asked a good question yesterday with why'd they wait so long? Because 5 years is a long time between kids. And I don't know. I don't know the answer, so I'd have to find out. Yeah, so my parents got married in Bonham, where my mom grew up, in the living room of her home. And then in May of 2021, we'll be celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary in the same place, in the same house where they got married. So it kind of comes back full circle. So I wanted to go back to talking about the different households where my parents grew up. So like I said, my dad grew up he was the oldest of 8. There's a 20-year difference between him and his youngest sister. But my mom went to go meet his family for the very first time. And she remembers going into the house, and then all of a sudden, around this door frame, all these little eyes started peeking around the corner at her, like, who in the world? And like, kids coming out of everywhere. But anyways, my Uncle Lowell, he walks up to her, and he feels her leg. He goes, "Do you have pantyhose on?"
Oh my God.
I mean, can you imagine? I can only imagine what my mom was feeling at that time or thinking, but she thought it was funny. But I think my dad was probably embarrassed. His little brother going, "Do you have pantyhose on?" When we were kids, my dad was really quiet, reserved. He was cranky a lot, but I think that was just the stressor of having a family, being the breadwinner. You know, a lot of our friends, my brother and I's friends, were afraid of my dad because you could walk in the house and he wouldn't say a word to you, but it didn't mean he didn't like you. He just had nothing to say. I do have to say that as he's gotten older, the crankiness. He's still reserved, modest, but
I would never describe him as cranky.
Yeah, no.
Or unfriendly or anything like that.
No.
What did he do for a living?
My dad worked, growing up he worked at AT&T in Southwestern Bell. He was a lineman, I guess. He climbed the telephone poles with the big boots with the big spikes. And he pulled line. And then as we got older, he worked at EDS, Electronic Data Systems, as an infrastructure data analyst. He worked there for a long time. But as we got older, like I said, my dad, he's super funny. He likes to be silly, super silly. He is still quiet, reserved, modest, which those are all great qualities to have. But my mom growing up, Mom was a typical mom, stayed home. My mom worked some. She cleaned houses. We owned a sandwich shop, an ice cream and sandwich shop, J&R's dip station. And then my mom had a clothing store, Judy's Outlet, and she sold clothes. And I felt really cool because we would go to Dallas to the market to go buy clothes from the distributors, and like I would have clothes that no one would have, or like brands that no one would have. Yeah,
That's really cool.
It was really cool. And so Mom worked, but she was home with us mostly. Mom's a pushover. She was when we were a kid. I think she still is today too. But we had fun. We had our family, like we liked to travel. We loved to camp. We camped in a camper. We didn't tent camp. Camped a lot. We went to Dinosaur Valley. We went to Galveston every year. All the family would go, aunts and uncles and grandparents. We'd all stay in campers at state parks. And those were the best times of my life. I even have a tattoo of a camper. Can you see that? So I even have a tattoo of a camper with a sunset beach scene, because it was the best times of my life. One thing I did forget to say about my mom is, you know how I said that my dad's super quiet and reserved? Well, my mom is super chatty. I inherited that trait from her because I'm super chatty. I can talk with anyone. I can small talk with anyone.
I have a story about your mom chatting. This one time she was visiting. You were upstairs. She and I were downstairs. It was the morning. So I'm getting coffee ready. She's sitting in the living room with Lux. And the entire time I'm getting all the coffee stuff ready, she's narrating what I'm doing to Lux. Oh, now she's going to get the water. She's putting the water in the thing. She's gonna weigh out the beans now. Gonna grind them. And like detailed narration of what I was doing. And I was like, well, it's too early.
Too early.
I don't have enough coffee for this.
Well,
did you say she always has talked to the
yeah,
dogs?
so I was just gonna say that we raised weenie dogs when I was a kid. And I was watching home videos the other day, some old ones that we had, and I was going through them. And my mom was talking to them, and I was like, oh man, she talked to dogs even, 30 years ago. Jen had asked yesterday what was some funny memories I have.
Yeah, like happy
funny memories of my mom and dad. When we were camping a lot, we went to this place called Dinosaur Valley, and there's a river running through the park. But we always camped in the camper, and we had these 3 deer that came up, and so we named them. They were the Three Stooges, because we watched Three Stooges all the time when I was a kid. And we fed them Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies, and they ate them out of our hands. Yeah, and then also another camping memory too is we always made homemade ice cream with the rock salt and the ice cream maker in the wooden bucket. And so we made the ice cream, was done with it, and my dad had told my brother to go empty out the water that was in the bucket still. And so he went and poured it. I think he poured it on a tree. Well, he killed the tree. The salt water killed the tree. So I remember we got fined. My parents got fined for killing the tree. I don't know how much it was, but funny memories. So ever since I was a kid, I remember my dad was always interested in video cameras, computers. Every month or so, we would watch all of our home videos that were on these 8mm films. We would set up It was like a movie party. I think we'd have popcorn sometimes. And we had, you know, a projector and a little screen that was like maybe a 3x2 or a 3x3 that we'd sit up in the living room, turn out the lights, and my dad would do the projector, and we'd watch all of our home videos and just laugh and laugh and laugh. But the funny memory that I have from that is my dad, he was videoing when we were in Galveston one time, and he must have just walked into the trailer, and my mom was getting her bathing suit on. Well, she was fixing her boobs in the video, or she was fixing her boobs in her bathing suit. But my dad like walked up on her, and she was like bent over, and she was like, you know, fixing her boobs. Well, my dad at this point in the video, he would play it, and then he'd rewind. Play, rewind. Play, rewind. You get faster and faster, 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 because then all you see her doing is and it was just the funniest thing. And my mom would always just call it, you know, a turd head or whatnot, and we'd all just laugh and laugh and laugh at that. He thought that was funny. We would always go to this restaurant called Trail Dust, and they had a dance floor. It was a steakhouse, had a dance floor. We loved going there, and they would always dance together. And still to this day, they love dancing together, and I love watching them dance together, because you can really tell that still after 50 years, they love each other very, very much. And it's just super nice to see. And I'm thankful for that they still do love each other.
Just what would you want somebody to know if they've never met your parents before? I guess maybe even if they have met your parents, what do you want them to know about your mom and your dad?
They were super caring and loving people. And they were great parents. I had a great childhood. They love spending time with their kids. They love spending time with their grandkids. But I think, yeah, they're cool. I think they're cool people. They love each other. I think that's super cool after 50 years.
I do too. Coming from, let me get down to here. Coming from divorced parents, it's great to see people who have been married for almost 50 years and to see that they still love each other, still really enjoy each other's company, and genuinely love each other and enjoy each other's company.
We were a close family, but we weren't lovey, touchy, feely. We didn't say I love you all the time. Family.
Not a huggy kissy.
Not a huggy kissy family at all. Yeah, like I wish that we would have been. I think that would have been great for us. But I knew that my parents loved me, even if we weren't touchy-feely or huggy-kissy.
Even if your mom was swatting you with a fly swatter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot to talk about that too.
That's okay. Her mom beat her with fly swatters and dish towels and stuff. It's fine. Don't worry about it, folks.
My parents, we spent a lot of time together. That's my main love language, is quality time. My dad and I throwing the softball back and forth, playing basketball, going to batting cages, anything. We spent a lot of time together, and Dad, he was always teaching me and coaching me. Yeah, so what values did my parents give me? To work hard. My parents work hard. They always have, and if they taught us to work hard, and if you don't work hard, you're not gonna just get what you want. Do whatever you want. Like, if you have a dream to do something, go do it. And even the other day when we were in Colorado, I was talking about the Coast Guard, where I was like, man, I would have loved to have done the Coast Guard. I didn't know really about it. And Dad was like, well, go do it now. And I'm like, I can't go be a Coast Guard. Now I have a family. I can't be gone. The values my mom gave me or taught me is just to be, both of them, just be a good person. Do what's right. If you mess up, take accountability.
Think your parents are proud of you?
Absolutely. I know that. They're proud of me.
Think they did a good job?
Yeah, I do.
Think you're doing as good of a job as them?
I sure hope so. Yeah. Do you think they did a good job?
I wouldn't be with you if they didn't do a good job.
But yes, my parents are very proud of me. I do know that.
Well, Harold and Hootie, Thanks for making such a great daughter. She's a real peach. It's fun to get to know you.
Well, thanks.
Okay. Next video one will be my parents. Indeed. Catch you in the next one.
Bye.